There. All right. Heat, point, flat. Your heat is gonna be going right over top of there. Now you say, BBQ Daddy, well, where is your smoke? Excuse me, where's your wood? How are you gonna get your hickory flavor in there? Yeah, I got you covered right here. We're gonna leave that open for just a second. Matter of fact, no, we're not. We're gonna close that because I want that to get every bit of this. Here's my hickory, a wood chip that I. Gonna make a hickory wood chip burrito. Basically what we're gonna do is put about a quarter of the bag, maybe a little more than a quarter of the bag. We're gonna take these wood chips, and roll it almost like a burrito. Now that's not how you roll a burrito, but when you go to Chipotle, you got a lot of stuff inside that joker. That's how they roll it. Want to get this nice and tight, roll it up. Hold your hands. All right, BBQ Daddy, what are you gonna do with this here now? Real simple. I'm gonna take this burrito, this wood chip burrito, and set it right over here. Come on this way. Set it right up against there because that's where my heat is gonna come out. It's gonna come out just enough to get that charcoal, to get that wood nice and hot. And then no, I don't poke holes in it because then it'll get too much oxygen. That thing is not airtight, all right? I don't poke holes in it because it'll get too much oxygen, then it can burn. Oxygen will have your wood on fire. So we're gonna leave that, and we're gonna check the time, whatever time it is right now. I'll be back in about 6 hours, and this will be ready to come out. It'll be nice and pretty. Okay, it's been about 6 hours. I've had this thing on the smoker, and right about 6 hours is when my charcoal runs out. Now, if you come right over here, you remember when we loaded it, you see it's about out now. It's actually out now. So that's about how long it takes my smoker to leave. Generally, it's going to take about that long for your smoker. Now, the reason why, I'm showing you how to cook barbecue without taking all day, and you can make an amazing brisket with that tastes great and looks great, feels great, great texture, and half the time than some of these old low and slow barbecue guys do. All right, so I'm gonna open this grill and we're gonna see what happens, what it looks like after about 6 hours. Come on over here. Look at it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this out here in just a second and get away from these flies. I'm gonna take this out here in just a second. I just wanted to show you what that looks like and what this kind of looks like after about 6 hours. Remember that wood we put in there? Yeah, let's see what this looks like. And that wood that we had, you see now it's done. It looks good. It's gone through your aluminum foil here. It came out nice and good right over top of that. That's gonna have a nice good hickory smoke over top of it. You see it's already got a nice good crust, and the reason why it's got that crust is because I cooked it nice and hot. So this should be right about 150, between 150 and 160 degrees. So let's check it out. Let's stick this in here. And bottom right about, let's look at this. 155, 154. So, just so you know, after 150, your brisket, anything, is not taking any more smoke. So there's no other reason to actually put this back in here. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do once we get inside. We're gonna take it, wrap it, and put it into the oven until it gets to about 185. So actually, before we go inside, you've worked so hard to get that nice, good crispy top, your crispy part. You don't want to ruin that. So what you want to do, this is going to be nice and hot. Now my fingertips are all jacked up. I've been doing these for years. But you don't want to grab too much of the top because it'll make a mark from your tongs right at the top. So what I like to do is take it here, take a spatula of some sort, and then we're just going to lift this up because I don't want to ruin my bark that I worked so hard to get. See how I did that? Now, we'll see you on the inside. All right, welcome back to the kitchen. All right, so, you know what this is? A piece of aluminum foil. Now, there actually is a video of me online currently where I used to wrap my brisket in saran wrap first. However, I don't do that anymore because we grow and we learn. The reason why I don't wrap in saran wrap is because now it'll be nice and juicy, but it's too much, it'll be too airtight, and the juices that are gonna come from your brisket will then steam and it will loosen this nice, good, crispy bark that we got going on there. And that's gonna be essential for when we get ready ready to slice into this joker. So you can take tongs, you can lift it up, you can put gloves on, however you like. I don't have a real way to get up under here, so my fingers are fine. My hands are clean, I promise. So what I'm gonna do is we've transferred it from outside from your smoker and put this right inside here. Now, if you notice, I put it just on the end. Remember, this is your point. Again, this is your flat. These are what's called the burnt ends, right? All right. So what I want to do is take these burnt ends. They're going to be a little bit tough. I'm going to break them off just a little bit so it doesn't pierce my aluminum foil. Now, as you see, I'm going to take my aluminum foil, nothing else over top of it, because I still want air to get to it. I don't want it to be airtight because, again, that will steam cook it. Now, a lot of fattier meats take a little bit longer to cook. One of the reasons why is because that fat breaks down as the heat is coming in, and it just like the fat melts and it continues to cool the meat. And as more of the fat melts, it continues to cool the meat, and so you almost get at a stagnant level. And then sometimes what happens there, you'll have your meat and it'll get stuck, and you're like, what am I gonna do? The best way to combat that is to wrap your meat. That's one. Again, there's many ways to wrap it. This is just the way that I do it. If you want to do it different, great, but if you're just beginning, start off right here. The reason why I wrap it this way is because I want all my juices to stay inside. Now I'll wrap these edges, push this. I want to fold this in. Now is it airtight? No, but that juice that's going to come from, the drippings that's going to come from this brisket are going to come, and it's going to stay right in there. It's going to continue to flavor this meat from the inside. Now, there's only one way to know when a brisket is right. You got to know what temperature it's at. So this is right at about 155, somewhere right around there. That's going to be the most you want your brisket on the smoker. All right. So at 155, take it out. And if you're not sure when your smoker, because maybe you don't know it as well, keep a thermometer in it at all times. But the key to a good brisket is the texture. And the key to getting a good texture is knowing when to take it out and what temperature to. Again, off the smoke at 155, somewhere between 152, 158, off the smoke. Second, a good place where you want to load your thermometer, I'm going to plug this right in the middle. The reason why I want it in the middle is because my flat, because it's a smaller piece, is going to be done much faster than my point. Again, because it's fattier and it's a lot thicker. Once this brisket reaches 185, take it out. Then let it chill. I know you're going to be happy, you're going to be ready to go, and then ready to eat, but no, don't. Take it out, let it rest, and I'm going to show you how we get there in a second. Now, the temperature that you want to place it in the oven at, 300. A lot of people take this and they put it back on the smoker. I wouldn't say do that because you got to load more charcoal for whatever reason. You don't have to do that. It's not getting any more smoke. All it needs now is heat. And so you can take your and bring it right inside. Set your oven to 300. How long is it going to take? I'd say right around 2 to 3 hours. That's about all it's going to need. So remember, we had it on for 6. It's going to take a few minutes to get here and wrapped. And so once we get in the oven, maybe another 2.5 hours, 2 hours. If you get a smaller brisket, we're gonna let it rest. And then there's your, what is that? So that would be 8, let it rest for an hour, and there's your 9 hours. Your 9-hour brisket set and done. And I'll show you how it looks in a minute. So if you want a good brisket, you have to get a thermometer. All right? Outside of that, guys, I'll be right back when that gets to be about 185. I'm gonna take it off, and then after that, we're gonna cut it, and after that, I'm gonna eat it, and hopefully you'll be able to grab some notes, follow along, and you'll be able to have yours too. See ya. What's up? Hey, we are back. Hey, I'm down here because I want you guys to focus on the brisket this time around. I know at least most of you are here for the brisket, maybe some of you are here for me, and that's cool. But the rest of y'all are here for this brisket, and so I'm gonna give you a little bit of update. I took it out at 185. So then I let it rest, let it chill for an hour. All right, so now the next thing we do, we've taken it out, we let it rest. The thermometer says it's right about 145. So I'm gonna take it. I would recommend most of you guys put on some gloves because it's gonna be hot. My fingertips can handle this because I do this all the time. And so, and you're seeing this in real life. All right. It is a little bit hot. All right. So here is our brisket. Now, what do we do? I guess we need to cut it. Okay, now, there are many different ways to cut a brisket. All right. So I'm gonna give you a nice, easy way to cut this thing to make sure that you don't have a bunch of stringy pieces. Now, you always want to cut your brisket what's called against the grain. So basically, the grain is like your muscle fibers that go along your arms, and they travel this way. Same thing here. With these, you can almost see. Come over here. Now I got a good, nice bark on here. You want to have your bark on. This is going to be really good. It's going to have some good tender on the inside and nice, good, crusty bark on the outside. But you can see right in there, right in like the cracks, that grain is going this way. You don't have to go exactly against it, but as long as you're not going, when you're cutting, you don't want to go along the grain. You want to go this way. You want to cut against it. So basically, come up here. If you look at our fingers, we're not cutting the fingers, but the grain like that. Don't cut this way. Cut this way or that way or something. As long as you can see like the butt ends of the meat. You don't want to see that meat going stringy. It may happen sometimes, and that's okay. But for the most part, you want to cut against the grain. Brisket, I like to cut it up. I like to break it up in almost 4 parts. One is, come right over here. I want you to get mostly this. This is going to be your point. Come down. This is going to be your point. This is, I don't know what they call the middle part, but I just call it the middle.